my gosh! Green Arrow is black! Well, not that, like, he switched from green to black. I mean, he's actually black in the future. Let me go ahead and tell you this episode first before we get to that bit. Again, I'm doing the Legends of Tomorrow reviews. I'm going to do Flash, Arrow, everything so I can catch up with everything. The Lion Guard I plan to do also if they're on there, but whatever. So I just finished the episode Failsafe, where it's still continuing from Russia. Mind you, the Green Arrow doesn't appear till the end of the episode, and it's not really in the past, but we'll get to that. So again, we're counting out Palmer, Rory, which is the fire guy with the fire gun, and Professor Stein, because now I'm remembering their names. They all went to a gulag, or a Russian jail, and there Mr. Stein is being taken to try to make him give up the formula to create a firestorm. Though in the beginning it looked like he was in Star Labs with Cisco, but Cisco was all dressed nice and stuff, and they say, like, he's like, wait, I'm not at Star Labs, because you, Cisco, you're dressed all proper and stuff like that. That's not you. And then it just melts away, and he's in the Russian gulag place, and the woman who's the one who started trying to make the Russian firestorm, she's like, oh, you're strong or whatnot. And I'm just thinking, okay, and then that's never brought up again through the rest of the episode. He even says, are you drugging me? And he says, no. And she goes, no, we wouldn't drug you. So I'm like, okay, how the fudge that happen? Did Randall Savage use magic to make him think that then? Or I thought she was a mutant or a metahuman, the DC term. But turns out she is a metahuman, kind of, but not really. Or she is a metahuman, but I'll come. But basically, Stein's there, and he's getting kept there to they're trying to force him to make the formula, write down the formula for making a new firestorm, while Palmer and Rory, the fire gun guy, they're in the prison side of this gulag, where Palmer is trying to be nice or trying to find out where Stein is, where he then gets into a fight with this big Russian dude. They start clobbering out. He gets knocked the fudge out, and Rory's just sitting there looking at his fire gun, or not fire gun, his lighter he stole off this one prisoner. And then you have a whole little ethical thing where they're talking, where Palmer says, the fire guy said, what, or Rory said, why did you do that? I'm not talking about Hunter, FYI, because, Hunter being Rory from Doctor Who, but whatever. He goes, well, why did you do that? And Palmer goes, because that's what I believe in. I believe in helping everyone, helping them and stuff. And then he asks Rory, what would you die for? You would have something you'd die for, and he says the big, or I think they probably said afterward, but it's still brought up to where they're having conflicting ideals. And he says, what would you die for? And Rory says the big score, the greatest score. And then Palmer says the only difference between us is what we consider a big score. Then you have everyone else outside of the prison trying to figure out a way to break them out. Hunter decides to send White Canary and Snoke to go in there to free Stein, but Hunter told White Canary to kill Stein if he seemed unreachable, if they can't get him out in time, so that way the future will be safe, because they looked at the future, a broadcast of the future, which, okay, I kind of like that, where they're mostly going over the infinite possibilities, what will most likely happen in these scenarios, and that's kind of what you use for a future broadcast, which I kind of like. So, and like the future is firestorms take over the world, and Russia wins, basically. Taking over Randall Savage wins. So they, but he tells White Canary this all hush, but not, his name's not Snoke, it's Snark. Snark goes, I know what you're planning to do. It's stupid. And also I like, because one thing, like, a lot of people say, like, or at least from what I've heard around, like, Green Arrow's taking a lot from Batman. Being, well, yeah, League of Shadows, what's his name? Slade, and, like, all these other, and some of these other bad guys and stuff like that. Like, Green Arrow is our Batman for TV. Other than Gotham, but technically Gotham's about Batman, but really it's about, well, it's about the creation of Batman, not so much Batman, but kind of. But and then, like, Green Arrow is our Batman. I would say the Flash, even though it is all, you know, Flash's enemies and stuff like that, I would say the Flash is the Superman of the Arrowverse for right now, until they actually do show Batman and Superman, because they've already hinted at, I believe that they've already hinted at both of them already. So, like, Green Arrow would be Batman, the Flash would be Superman, and Legends of Tomorrow would be the Suicide Squad. I would think. Like, maybe Legend of Tomorrow, when I think the Legend of Tomorrow was made specifically for this TV show, so I don't know, really, if in the comic books they actually do get together and everything to go through time. I doubt it. But not really, because you have, like, Booster Gold and stuff. Who goes through time, but that, like, they would be the Suicide Squad, to where, like, they're kind of bad guys. Yeah, you have, like, the few heroes like the Atom and Firestorm on the team, and Hawkgirl, who's kind of going crazy a little bit right now. But then you also have, like, Snoke in them, and, like, it kind of makes you root for these bad guys. Like, White Canary herself is also a bad guy in the comic books. You kind of root for these bad guys a little bit, like Snoke. When White Canary and Snoke are breaking into the gulag, the jail, which also they had to fight a Russian mafia guy, like, in, like, a bathhouse, where White Canary took out, like, 6 guys, and then Hunter asked Snark to help him fight this one big guy, and Snark's like, no, you got it. He's like, oh, great, and he has to punch, he has to start fighting him, which I thought was hilarious, because he seemed to get the crap kicked out of him, basically, until White Canary comes in saying that she kicked the crap out of 6 guys, but yeah, but like, one thing was, Snark has, like, a code, an honor among thieves type thing. Even Rory, the guy with the fire gun, has that, which is pretty freaking awesome. Which it makes you kind of root for these bad guys. Like, if you've ever seen Arkham Assault, which takes place within the same Arkhamverse as the Arkham games, that one's about the Suicide Squad, and in that it's pretty cool because whenever Batman appears, Batman's kind of the bad guy in this, in a sense that Batman is the one thwarting this group that we're following's team. So the Suicide Squad, so it kind of feels like Batman's the kind of the bad guy, or the one stopping the hero from getting their job done, which is kind of cool, I thought. Batman isn't the hero of that one, and this one, even though we don't have any much heroes right now, it feels kind of like that. We're rooting kind of for the bad guy. We're rooting for Captain Cold. We're rooting for Rory, White Canary. Even though White Canary technically isn't a bad guy in the Arrowverse yet, or if she will be, I don't know. But it's just pretty cool. But where was I? So, and also forgot his name. Jefferson, I believe is his name. The younger side of Firestorm. Jefferson and Hawkgirl, because I can't remember Hawkgirl's name. I don't remember it yet. They're benched because Hunter says, you two are going to stay here because one of you is the other half of Firestorm, which is what they need to create a Russian Firestorm, and the other half, and you are an immortal goddess who's the only one who can kill Randall Savage. So I need both of you here to keep you from screwing up the future. But of course, these two don't like that, and later on down the line, they say, and also Hunter's having conflicting ideals of like, oh right, what I wanted to bring up was about Snoke, or Snark. When they were breaking into the Gulag, Snark went with White Canary, and Snark told her, if you're gonna kill Stein, don't do it with a gun. Make sure you it's too loud. Put your hands around his neck and look into his eyes as you kill him. And White Canary goes, that's our friend you're talking about, or that's our teammate you're talking about. And Snark goes, I know, I just don't want you to forget that. I'm like, that's freaking awesome. I love that. Like, he says something so dark, but the reason why is so that she remembers, don't freaking kill him. He's part of our team. Even though later on down the line he's ready to leave Palmer in the jail, Snark is, because he's ready to leave Palmer in the jail because he got knocked out because the professor was locked in a cell and had to watch basically Palmer and Rory get the crap kicked out of him. And it was pretty cool because Rory's about to get a hammer to the head, and Palmer just started pulling out all the smart butt comments he could, saying, oh, can I get a sandwich, some water? You know, what is it? American prisons have it way better. They at least have first meals. And I forgot what I forgot what exactly he said. The guy said to it. He said, the Russian guy, the guy who looks like freaking like Agent Smith to me from The Matrix. He says something like, you really can spit. Oh, you have a mouth on you, don't you? And then Palmer goes, not as good as your wife, or not as good as your mother. And he just gets the crap beat out of him. And then that's what makes the professor say, okay, I'll let you. I'll tell you how to create Firestorm. Which also was cool is the younger half of Firestorm, Jefferson. What he did was, because apparently he felt that the professor, because you know their connection, felt the professor was feeling that he was being left to rot, like left by the team. But he wrote on his arm, "We're coming," which is kind of cool because I like that they can do the message like that. Which also I think probably makes a little bit more sense than when that was done in like, as you can say, Hyper Time or whatnot, but in Looper, where they do the kind of a similar thing where they write in his arm and in the future stuff, so he's on his arm, but that would have been there his entire life. Yeah, I could go on about how Looper I feel is a pretty dumb movie, something I really don't like. I did not like Looper at all, but this is different, and it still has time travel, and it has the same thing, but it works, I think, better. Though I would say, yeah, I guess that whole cutting in the arm thing could be because of Hyper Time, where like they're in a state of everything's changing, but they don't really notice it, whatever. But anyways, what was I saying? So the Jefferson, so after that beating, Rory and Palmer get thrown into a cell, and Palmer's knocked the heck out, and basically when Snark finally comes in to save them, Snark just puts the Atom suit in Palmer's jacket or like jumpsuit pocket, which I kind of liked when he did that. I kind of like how like the suit can be so small that they just carry around his pocket, and then like whenever he changes anywhere, it's like, oh, here, this is why he can do that, because it can reform big. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. It's kind of like the Flash ring. But like I was saying, Jefferson and Hawkgirl, they say, we can get Stein out of there quick. And Hunter's like, what do you mean? And he goes saying, all I need to do is go in there and touch a Stein, and we can transform the Firestorm and get out of there. And he's like, oh yeah, how are you going to get over the fence, all that stuff? And Hawkgirl says, we can do that and get it over there. All we need is to be able to make a distraction to be able to let this kid in there to go get Stein. And Hunter starts thinking, okay, we can do this. Because he was having conflicting things, which also, like, I was watching Necessary Evil, DC's Villains Necessary Evil, where they talk about the villain and stuff like that, and they talk about Amanda Waller, saying, Amanda Waller's not really a bad guy, it's just she knows how to use, she just knows how to make the tough choices. And I'm thinking, And in Hunter, he's making the tough choice of whether to kill Stein or to not. Me, I'm thinking, okay, I can kind of understand it, but Amanda Waller's just playing freaking cruel with it. And I just don't like Amanda Waller. And this is the different thing from Hunter and Amanda Waller, I think, is... Well, let me think. I just had a thought about it. Like, maybe it's because Hunter, we really see him struggling. Because Hunter's... And also why I said, like, this is kind of similar to the Suicide Squad. Hunter's kind of like Amanda Waller in a sense where he has to make the tough choice. And where he was making the tough choice there. Yeah. But... you saw him fighting with that choice. Amanda Waller's just like, let him die. You're not getting the information from me. Which, I can honestly understand that even too. Like, the professor, like, I see Palmer and them getting the crap kicked out of him, and the professor finally breaks. I'm thinking, don't break. Mind you, yes, your friends are going to get hurt, and they're going to be very badly hurt. But the future with thousands of other people are all going to die too. But then again, I think he also got on his arm the written of "we're coming," so I guess he could think that, like, well, they're going to be here soon, so... But for Jefferson to get into the gulag, he has to dart across this courtyard to shut off the power after Hawkgirl drops him, and... his leg's jacked up still. If he runs, he'll hurt it. And he has to do that while White Canary takes out the guards. So he has to do it within 12 seconds of the light coming around. So the light comes, White Canary shoots the guards, and you see Jefferson running. He's like, he hurts his leg. He's like, oh! He runs to the light switch, and it shuts it off, and that's when all the lights and electricity goes off in the prison. But I love what he says after that. When he does it, he goes, Barry Allen, who? I'm like, yes! And that's what I love about, like, I love shared universes, if I haven't said before. I love shared universes, and it's because it makes all of it one giant story. It makes where one story log, mind you, something like Amazon's Attacks or something like that, if you go check out Linkara, definitely, where, like, they have this thing where, but, like, you can have a giant story expand out into other world things, yes, but like Amazon Attacks is a bad way to do it, where the rest of the story was in other books. But you can have one effect ripple out into all these other stories for them all to bounce off. If you want it, well, if any of you watch Channel Awesome, the plot hole. That plot hole apparently, if I remember correctly, ripples from that still affect the Channel Awesome universe, where Linkara, I think Angry Joe, I'm not sure, I haven't really watched any of Angry Joe's things. I believe Spoonie also. You have all these ripple effects going out through the... Or if you want Marvel, Avengers 1. Avengers 1 with the aliens and stuff like that. That ripple effect goes out to, like, Daredevil, where they talk about the aliens coming down. I haven't seen Jessica Jones yet. I want to, though. I have Netflix, so I should be able to. I probably should do views on that, logs on that, but whatever. You have all those different things going on. You have all the ripple effects going onward, and also, like, the ripple effect from Avengers 2 is going to lead into Civil War. Just all these things rippling together, or the arc, or what the fuck is called, the cube thing from Marvel, from the Avengers, that was seen throughout all of Iron Man, Thor, and all of them, which, the Tesseract, which, like, the energy bursts out. That's what I like about that. But, so, basically, the professor writes down the serum for Firestorm, and the Russian scientist woman goes, "Ah, that's interesting, so beautiful, but there's still something missing." And then that's when and she's like, "What do you mean? This is..." And Stein goes, "Well, what do you mean? This is everything. This is all of it." But then she sees his arm written on there, and he says, "Oh, that's something. I just cut myself." And she's like, "No, you couldn't have. We've been watching this entire time. Someone else must have cut them. It's like if someone else cut themselves and it appeared on your arm," which I'm thinking, okay, leap of logic, but okay, whatever. Saying, "There needs to be two. Quickly, get him to the radio, whatever the fudge." And he's like, no, it's extremely hard to find someone compatible with this. And she says, oh, have you ever merged with a woman before, Professor? Well, I don't think they've had a kid. No, I'm kidding. But, so, basically, she's apparently is kind of a metahuman, I guess, because I guess she can absorb the energy. Though I'm wondering how... Yeah, I'm kind of wondering, because the energy created to merge or become the metahumans and stuff like that, kind of... Well, actually, now I think about it, because if they're still going with... Like, if they're making their own version of the DC universe still, in the 50s and stuff like that, there were still superheroes. The older superheroes like Dr. Fate. So I guess, yeah, there could still be metahumans around. Okay. But this one, like, you know, Arrowverse, metahumans are created by the Big Bang in Central City, but whatever. So, basically, Stein gets taken out as there's a riot going on because all the power went out, so electric locks opened up. Snark, Rory, and with Palmer over his shoulders are running through there. Snark's like, why are you bringing him? Can't believe you're risking your life for this guy. And he says, he took a beating for me, I owe him one. And they're running through like all these prisoners. Russian Smith man's coming like, good God! He's running, and then Rory knocks the guy into a cell and closes the cell. And Rory just goes, you stay in enjoy your new cellmate. And the Russian guy goes, ah! As he gets grabbed by the Russian guy, and I'm guessing is going to be killed. Or, you know, drop the soap. But, yeah, so that happens. Stein actually gets thrown into the nuclear fission thing, where they also had another one of those orbs that they needed that they stole from in the last episode. They had a second one, where the woman uses it, absorbs fire energy, then touches the professor and turns into a female firestorm, goes out, starts burning, killing people. The professor's saying, don't do this, you're going to die without the 3 dots to protect them. Jefferson runs up to them and goes, stop, Professor, you know you're stronger. And first, Jefferson gets knocked back, and Jefferson says, I know that you're the one you're the only reason you were mean to me is to toughen me up, to make sure nothing bad happens. I understand that, but you are stronger. You were in my mind. You're stronger than her. Fight her. And you see she's about to throw the fire. And I also love whenever I just love those. She's just trying to shoot fire, but she can't. And then Jefferson touched her, and then there was an explosion. Jefferson was there, the professor, and then the woman, she's still on fire, but then starts turning blue because she's about to have a nuclear meltdown. And White Canary, Snark, and I think Rory and Palmer at this point run out. But also, Palmer wakes up midway, and he's being carried like over the shoulder style, and Palmer goes, "This is a weird hug." I think that's funny too. But so I believe those two already ran to the ship, the jump ship, or I think they were there too, and they watch the woman as she's starting to melt down. The professor goes, "Fascinating," and White Canary goes, "By fascinating, he means we need to leave now." So they run to the ship, they fly away, and then there's a giant nuclear explosion. Also, I forgot to mention that Hawkgirl, Randall Savage actually sees Hawkgirl and chases her into this one area where she's setting up charges. I guess she's setting up charges, and Randall Savage is there, goes, "Come with me, my love, and we will live forever. We can find a way to extend your life." And she goes, "My answer will always be no." And then he goes, "That's sad." But then Hunter comes back with his revolver, which I love his revolver because it's a freaking revolver, but it just has lights in it. Well, it has whatever time bullets or whatever inside of it, but it just looks cool with the lights, especially when compared to he has that gun, which I guess is a plasma gun. I don't know. Then you have Snark's ice gun, and then Rory's fire gun. I'm like, that's just all cool. I like cool different guns. Heck, I like Linkara's magic gun, and then Spoonie has an anti-magic gun, which is kind of cool. I want to see a battle between them, but it was a pretty good episode. It was pretty funny. But they run away and they get into the ship and fly off. There's a giant explosion, destroys the thing. Also, Hunter, he gets his watch back. He tells Randall Savage to give his watch back. and he takes a watch. And I'm thinking, he's like, why don't you just shoot Randall Savage in the head? Shoot him in the head. Sure, he'll regenerate, but you just shoot him in the head, grab your watch, and leave. So Randall Savage gives him the watch. Says, for 11 years, I've been looking at that watch, looking at the picture of your wife and son, and I'm waiting for when I meet them to tell them that your friends are the ones who led me to them, to kill them. And Rory goes, no, we're going to stop you before that. And Rory just walks out of the room, presses a button, and the set charges that Hawkgirl put explode. You see Randall Savage explode in the fire. I'm like, that's pretty cool. And, the giant nuclear explosion after that. The team leaves. The future is safe again, as the 2016 is safe again, as they said. But then as they're going through the time ship or whatever, celebrating, they're going through the time warp thing. Basically what Doctor Who loops around. Hunter, which I want to call him Rory. Hunter is saying good job. Everyone's saying good job. Jefferson and the professor saying they're happy that they're each other's partner. That the professor says it's good because I've been inside a crazy Russian late woman and she's nothing compared to you. You're better and stuff like that. And they hug and stuff like that. White Canary says that she's found more humanity since she didn't take the shot because she had a shot to kill Stein, but she didn't take it. And they're all saying yeah, and also Palmer saying, "See, I knew there was a good guy in you," or something like that. And so Rory, the fire guy, the fire guy goes, "No, we were just even now. Enough feels, more drink," and he's just drinking alcohol. It's hilarious. But then their ship gets hit. They all get in their seats. And they're probably like, what the fuck is that? They look back, and Kronos is back in his ship, Boba Fett. Which, if they never show his face, well, I guess, I don't know, maybe it's just because of things like Metroid and stuff like that. It would not surprise me to find out that Kronos is a woman. It would not surprise me at all. Because that would be the kind of thing like, oh, this character was a woman the entire time. It just feels like something that could happen, but probably won't. Apparently Black Manta used to not ever show his face. But, I'm not sure if Justice League or Young Justice is considered canon at any bit. I know that, the second season of Young Justice, which, mind you, someone get on a petition to make that show come back. But, Young Justice, what was it? Black Manta shows his face, yeah, we know it's a guy, but for some reason I feel kind of because of how big the armor is and stuff like that, and how it sounds like a voice changer. Also, I believe when Kronos talks and stuff like that, it would not surprise me if he is a woman. It would not, or if Kronos is a woman. It would not surprise me at all. But yeah, but then Kronos shoots the ship. The Millennium Time TARDIS Traveler shoots some blast back, knocks Kronos back, but one of the missiles escapes. Focus. Okay, good. So, but the Falcon gets hit, and the Millennium Falcon falls down, and they're like, ah! And they say, what was it? Gideon says, we fell out of the time stream. And they're saying, what does that mean? And he says, we're falling in place and time. They crash land, and then next scene they're just walking out from an alleyway. The ship is up on top of something, but they cloak it, and they're looking around, and it's Star City, and what the fudge is going on here? I thought you said that we saved the future, because they said that the Firestorm was done and stuff like that. But they said, I thought we saved the future, and he said, we did, in 2016. This is 2046. And then you see on Palmer building, instead of saying Palmer, it's smoke. So Felicity, well, we could guess that this possible future Felicity might live very long. But but then we see a hooded character with a bow and arrow jump on top of a truck, and they say, Oliver? And Sarah's like, it's me, Sarah. And then Palmer's like, yeah, Oliver, it's me. Don't you remember, 10 years ago, I said that I was going to go and become a legend? And then, and it sounds like Oliver, too, but he's all cloaked in shadows. I thought it was Arsenal, but then the guy comes up and like the light shines on him. It's a black guy, which mind you, nothing against black people. I'm merely saying that because he's a black guy. And it's like, oh, fudge, that's not. Not only is that not Oliver, actually, it could be Diggle. No, he looked younger, but like, not only is it not Oliver or Arsenal, actually. Oh, it was 2046, so it's actually 30 years future. It's not Diggle. It's I haven't seen the next episode yet. It's already come out, but I'm going to assume it's Diggle's son. Did he have a son or a daughter? I'm gonna assume it's his kid. Because that would kind of make sense. It would kind of make sense. And the guy goes, "I know nothing about legends," and he just shoots a bow and arrow at them, and then that's the end of the episode, if I remember correctly. So yeah. Fun episode. Definitely like it. Definitely go check out this show. It's awesome. I'm going to watch one more episode, and then I'm going to watch the Flash ones, and then Green Arrow. But either way, thank you all so much for watching. If you want to check out my videos that I've done, please click the link in the description below. Please check out all my videos, and we will see you later.